Some skins in Rust simply look good. A flex, a status symbol. Well, that's not these skins. These win you fights. Okay, let's get straight into this. Starting off with the lower tier weapons, we have the Blackout Bow. Now, obviously, we have our normal bow, and to be honest, I can't really believe that I'm even incorporating the bow as a pay-to-win item, but I have to include it. There's a slight see-through aspect to this bow. Once again, kind of goofy that I'm even incorporating this, but it is a thing, so might as well add it in there. Next up, we have the Crossbow. Now, this one is a little better than the bow, nothing too crazy, but here we have the Stinger Crossbow. Now, this thing is my favourite, and it's pretty cheap as well, compared to the second best pay-to-win skin, which is the Cargo Heli Crossy. Now, this one is obviously a lot more expensive, and low-key, I think this one is much better. You see quite a bit more than the Cargo Heli. Like, this has more obstructions compared to the Stinger. So yeah, definitely not bad at all. Now, the only pay-to-win skin I could find for the Revolver is obviously the famous Heat Seeker. You're going to see this is a theme throughout this video. The Heat Seekers are the king of pay-to-win skins. It kind of just destroys the outside parts of the iron sight and just keeps that one in the middle with the perfect crosshair tip. I mean, the Heat Seeker skins, they're not the best looking, but they're definitely pay-to-win. Next up, we have the Pythons. Now, there are a lot of pay-to-win Python skins, giving you good variety and making it quite cheap to buy. So here's the normal one, quite clunky at the end there. Now, next we have the Blackout, which is one of the most expensive ones, but it is my favourite as it does have the red iron sight tip, and I think it's the coolest looking skin. Then we have the Redemption Python. To be honest, all of these are the same. So they've shaved down the sides and just it's much thinner than iron sight. You can see a lot more. Some of these skins are actually glitched. On this Redemption, you can kind of see the red outline where there should be more of the skin, where they've kind of fouled the transparency. And next we have the Chrome Bombshell, same sort of thing. And last but not least, the Heat Seeker Python. Same thing as always. The only difference with this one is there is slight transparency in the actual iron sight itself at the end. So arguably this is still the best one. However, it really does come down to personal preference and what style you want to go for. As I said before, I'm opting in for the Blackout. Next up, we have the Semi-Auto Pistol. Now, there's really not many skins for these, and the only good pay-to-win skin for the Semi-Auto Pistol is the Direct Threat. Sadly, this thing is £50 on Steam. It is the only P250 with the shaved sides. You can see how the crosshair is almost floating. Yeah, here's the normal one for reference. But yeah, not really worth the buy, to be honest. And I'd say second best is this one here, the Golden Leaf. This is also £17. It's a lot of money. And all this really has is a better crosshair. Nothing crazy. Recently, with the Pilot DLC, Rust did bring in this variation. I mean, I'd say it's either a bit paid to lose, actually, because the end of the sight is really large, but the iron sight, I'd say, is a little better. Plus, the skin looks hella cool. Moving on to the low-tier shotguns here, or just shotguns in general. Start off with the Waterpipe. Now, this is the only pay-to-win skin for it. It's nothing crazy. It is quite literally just a glow-in-the-dark iron sight, and maybe a bit of a better iron sight. Obviously, yes, this is glow in the dark, so it is up to you if you want to use this, as clearly in the dark, it is quite bright. So if you want the better iron sight, go for it, but I wouldn't. Now, the DB doesn't have any pay-to-win skins. All I can suggest is don't get a glow-in-the-dark one. But I did add this, because it's quite the opposite. This is the pay-to-lose skin. This thing is extremely long. So if you're door camping, these can actually clip through walls and stuff. It's quite silly. So as cool as the skin looks, don't use it. And next we have the Pump Shotgun. Now, once again, these iron sights, they're literally just glow-in-the-dark tips. Literally no change whatsoever. The polymer one is quite expensive. However, the Frostfire here is £2.02, so it's not too bad. Just depends what colour iron sight you want, really. Now, I have added the Krieg pump here, mainly because I like the iron sight of this, how thin it is, but the gun itself at the base is really, it's giant. So yeah, pick your poison. I mean, this skin looks extremely cool, so I'm going to be using this. Next up, we have the SMGs. We'll start with the custom here. There are other variations of the custom that have glow-in-the-dark tips, but this Ruin SMG is the best for pay to win, as it shaves down the sides, if we compare it again, and gives you a nice red iron sight at the end there. So definitely the best custom, and it's also very cheap. Next, we have the Thompson. Now, once again, the Heat Seeker is winning. If you just take a good look at the default Thompson here, and then look at the Heat Seeker, it completely shaves down the sides, and the iron sight is transparent. So yeah, definitely the best Thompson skin. However, if you are viewing this video as it comes out, or during the pretty much the Rust kick drops, you can get access to, where is it, Sir Winter's Thompson. Obviously this is for free, and this does the exact same thing as the Heat Seeker, but it's limited time drop, so try and get it if you're quick. Last but not least, for the SMGs, we have the MP5. Now, the iron sights for the default one is awful. I really do not like it. You kind of need a holo. For the second best, I'm opting in for the Termite MP5. Now, iron sight's definitely better. It shaves a lot of the sides off. However, the Heat Seeker just wins again, because this thing shaves practically everything. It looks like a blowpipe. It's I don't know how this is in the game. Once again, with a Heat Seeker theme, the iron sight is transparent at the end. There's barely any of the guns showing. This is stupid. And luckily, these Heat Seeker skins are really not a lot of money. Okay, moving on to the SARS. As I said, there's a theme. We have another Heat Seeker. But I did pick out another pay-to-win SAR skin. So here's the normal. And if we take a look at the next one, this is the Imp SAR. Now, this thing, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of expensive. We're looking at £16. It shaves a bit of the sides off. It's not too much of a major change, but it is still a bit pay-to-win. But once again, no point, because we are going to be buying the Heat Seeker. Completely gets rid of the sides, transparent sight. It's just the best. Once again, I don't know how these got accepted. It's kind of stupid. And next we have the M39. Now, I was confused that there even was a pay-to-win skin for this, as I mean, no one really uses this gun, let's be real. However, we do have one skin for it, and now that is the Phantom M39. As you can see, the iron sight is a lot more clear, and the sides are completely shaved off. You're losing the little wheels there on the side. So definitely the best option for the M39. And the skin doesn't look too bad either. It looks like the only skins out of Valorant. Okay, we are moving on to the big boy guns now. Here we have the AKs. Now, the AK pay-to-win skins, they're not crazy. Like, I'm going to switch from the default here, and it's not going to be much of a change. So next we have the Heat Seeker, which actually isn't the best one, I don't think. I mean, the iron sight is shaved down a bit, you can still see through. But I've actually opted in for the Apocalypse Nomad AR for the best one, as it's only 85 pence, and I just prefer the iron sight quite a lot, to be honest, just with the red tip. But I could see how you would pick the Heat Seeker over it, clearly, for the transparency on the end there. Now we have the LR. Now this thing has a horrible iron sight. There's way too much going on. We needed a change. However, the Heat Seeker didn't need to change as much as it did. Once again, it looks like we're holding a blowpipe. This thing is stupid. It makes no sense. Why is this in the game? But definitely the best option, sadly, for the LR. Even holding it normally, it just looks goofy. Okay, the HMLMG is only just been given 2 skins, and I only really add this because there is no pay to win skins for it. You got the chrome one here, changes nothing, and the No Mercy changes nothing. Don't really know why I added it, but I just wanted to cover the gun, as I do think the new skins are quite cool. Okay, so for snipers, there is no L96 pay to win skins. However, there is a bolty one. Now, this is going to be a really rare situation. It's only for the night time. So if we make it go night here, if we pull out our bolties, we first off have the polymer bolty, which has the red tip iron sight that glows in the dark. And next we have the glory bolty, which is quite a nice looking white tip, which is, by the way, much cheaper than the polymer. However, let's be real, these skins don't look too great, and we're not going to be using the iron sight for a bolty, so kind of irrelevant, but I had to include it. Last but not least, we have the rocket launcher. Now, with the default, we all know it, nothing too crazy about it, but there is one skin that I would say is pay to win, mainly because of the iron sight and the transparency of it, seeing a little bit more. Not a bad looking skin either. Nothing really else to mention. However, we do have the new RPG skin. Now, personally, I actually think this is a bit pay to lose. There's only one difference, and that is the fact that you can see which type of rocket that you are loading in. So here we have an incendiary rocket, which clearly shows a red rocket at the end there. We have a normal rocket, which is, well, a normal rocket, pretty grey and broken looking. And we have the green high velocity rocket. So in that way, it is much more helpful to know which one you've got loaded in, but the aim down sight is not good. You need a crosshair for this. Okay guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you gained a little bit more knowledge from this, maybe not. If you think I missed anything at all, please slap it in the comments. And if there's anything else you want me to cover to do with Rust, just let me know. Have a good wipe.